Now, Boosie might be cooked after this new situation because he's now facing an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge after being accused of hitting a nightclub security guard in the head with a hookah base. And according to these court records, this is a pretty heavy case right here. Now, we all know Boosie, right? So Boosie was accused the other day of hitting a security guard at a Houston nightclub during a situation that allegedly started after a woman in Boosie's group was not allowed to use the restroom because the club was closing. It's 2026. Who the fuck is going to clubs and shit? Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Now, according to the allegations, the situation escalated into a security guard being hit in the back of the head with a glass or hookah base, right? So you know hookah, I'm sure you know what that is, right? And you know the big glass, like the actual base, like the vase? We're talking about that, okay? And it led to this security guard getting an injury that required medical treatment, with court records reporting saying he received 8 staples. So this is a pretty serious situation right here because it's not just another celebrity argument at a club. I mean, we're talking about a felony aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge. That's pretty fucking serious. So the law is not going to look at this like a regular club drama, right? Now, to be very clear, Boosie has not been convicted of this. We're not saying he is guilty. We're not saying that every allegation is automatically true. However, it is a real situation, and Boosie has already responded on social media and called the situation a money grab.
Hey, to all my family and fans, man, I'm okay, bro. I'm alright. It's basically a money grab, man. It's a money grab, but it's what you go through as an entertainer. The facts of the case have come out. I mean, we in court now. But this a money grab, man. This guy wasn't even supposed to be a security in the first place, man. This done 17, 18 years for aggravated armed robbery with a deadly weapon.
Is Boosie snitching on this guy? Wait a second. Is Boosie snitching? Wait a second. What?
And this done 17, 18 years for aggravated armed robbery with a deadly weapon.
That's kind of hypocritical because a lot of these rappers, and Boosie's definitely one of these guys who always talks about no snitching and no, don't snitch on this person, don't snitch on that person. But he literally said this guy was not supposed to be a security guard because he had charges from back in the day. Alright guys, so I kind of had to interject on this part of the video because I found this clip of Boosie basically talking about why he hates snitches and basically how like people snitching in the streets ruin his life. And so it really just illustrates exactly the point that I was making, and I just want you to just listen to what he's about to say here, okay? Just listen to this shit, okay? Let's go.
I was gonna say your biggest principle is snitching. You don't like the snitching, you don't like the talking, you don't like that. You don't like none of that online. That really bothers you.
Yeah, it bothers me because I done lost years of my life because of people snitching. You know?
No, Boosie, you did not lose years of your life because people were snitching. You lost years of your life because, nigga, you was doing crime. Not because people were snitching. The snitching is just a byproduct. Why are you losing years of your life? Because you were doing crimes and people had something to snitch on you for. So anyway, just the logic is just interesting. Let's keep going.
If my uncles then lost, my cousins, I probably wouldn't feel this way if all this shit didn't happen to me in my life. I wouldn't probably give a fuck about rats because I wouldn't understand it.
So he called them rats, okay? Just, you see that.
How can I have any remorse for that? That's been the common denominator of my failures.
No, Boosie, the common denominator of your failures is because you was in the motherfucking streets doing a bunch of shit you wasn't supposed to do, and then people turned on you. So it's you being in the streets. Let's just make that very clear. Anyway, let's move on let's just move on. So that is snitching, and that's based on the morals that they go off of, okay? I don't give a fuck about the snitching shit. I don't talk about it like that. But Boosie does. And he literally just snitched on this guy. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's kind of hypocritical because a lot of these rappers, and Boosie's definitely one of these guys who always talks about no snitching and no, don't snitch on this person, don't snitch on that person. But he literally said this guy was not supposed to be a security guard because he had charges from back in the day. Aside from Boosie snitching, his lawyer is saying people should reserve judgment and that there are 2 sides to every story, and that they're trying to get surveillance footage and witness statements to show what really happened that night. TMZ also reported that Boosie's lawyer described the woman involved as a female relative and said Boosie was trying to defend her and de-escalate the situation. Defend by hitting somebody in the head, allegedly? That's kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie. So these allegations are serious enough to the point where you just can't laugh this off. I mean, this man got really hurt. And so specifically, this is what they're saying about what happened that night. The whole thing started when a security guard allegedly refused to let a woman in Boosie's group used the restroom because the club had closed or was closing around 2 a.m. What the fuck are people doing out at 2 a.m. anyway? You should be in bed. From there, she was allegedly being escorted out of the club. At some point, according to the guard's accounts, she dropped her belongings, and according to one guard's version, when he bent down to help them pick the stuff that they dropped up, he was hit in the head from behind with the hookah vase, right? And the guard reportedly told investigators that when he turned around, he saw Boosie holding the broken hookah. And the records say the guard suffered a head injury requiring medical treatment, with several reports saying he needed 8 staples. So this part is really bad right here. Because it's one thing to hear that a rapper got into an argument with security. That happens all the time. It's one thing to hear that someone was escorted out of a club. That always happens. But when the allegations become that someone got hit in the back of the head with a glass object while bending down, that's a completely different level. So it's not just that Boosie's people got into it with the security guard. I mean, here they're alleging that Boosie caused bodily injury to a security guard by hitting him in the head. That's not a small claim. That's a pretty big legal situation that you have on your hands now. And also, Boosie has a very long history of legal issues. And actually, here's one of those legal issues, one of those specific legal issues. So I didn't actually know this until I was recording this. Literally in the middle of this video, I find this out, right? So Boosie actually took a plea deal in a federal gun case that he was fighting. So basically, he was first charged in 2023 with being a felon in possession of a firearm. And Boosie actually accepted a plea deal in this federal gun possession case. So it looks like he was first charged with illegal gun ownership in San Diego. The case was actually briefly dismissed, according to Billboard, in 2024, but federal prosecutors later refiled the charges. And then Boosie accepted this plea deal right here. And he celebrated by saying, just accepted a plea deal from the federal government on my gun case. I thought this case was over and I was going to get on with my life, but God don't make mistakes. I'm tired of fighting. So this is something that he just basically got over this hump, right? And then now he has this other case, this assault case right here. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. So this is the last kind of headline you want attached to your name. And also Boosie, he understands how the system works. I mean, he's been through real legal situations before. A lot of them have been very publicized. And he's fought like a lot of major cases as well. He's had his freedom on the line. He's seen how fast the situation can turn from a street issue into a court issue. And now when we're talking about a nightclub assault, it's kind of crazy. Obviously, Boosie knows better than most people how expensive one bad moment can become. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about freedom, reputation, stress, all that stuff. Now, according to reports, Boosie appeared in a Houston courtroom and was issued an $85,000 walkthrough bond, which allowed him to be released without serving jail time while the case moves forward. He has since bonded out, and he is reportedly due to court back in September. So right now, this case is still in the early stages. So a lot can happen here. The charge is serious, but the case is not fully played out. So of course, the state still has to prove what they're alleging, and Boosie's defense still has a chance to challenge the allegations. And in a situation like this, it's a club. Of course, they have surveillance footage from the club. And that's going to become one of the most important pieces of evidence. And that surveillance footage is definitely going to come out, and we'll be talking about it. And here's the thing, nightclub situations can be chaotic. You basically have people sticking around till the last minute, and then you have security guards trying to clear the building. You have people drinking. You have people feeling disrespected. He stepped on my shoes, bro. I'm gonna shoot you, right? Like that. That's like nightclub shit. And then you have these big groups of people who are a lot of times just like super belligerent, loud music, confusion. Anyway, so the footage is gonna matter, right? So right now it does sound bad on paper, but video could either make it look worse or completely change how we understand the situation. If the footage shows Boosie did not do what he is accused of doing, then obviously that's going to change everything. If the footage shows someone else hit the guard, that changes everything as well. And if the footage shows Boosie not only trying to separate people or defend someone without using the hookah, that of course is going to help him. But if we see this footage and he's basically hitting the security guard in the head with his hookah glass, then he's going to have a very big problem. Trust me. I mean, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon is not something you just walk out of, especially in Texas, where they hold people accountable. Shout out to Texas. And it's crazy how this started over like a restroom issue, when the security guard allegedly refused to let a woman in Boosie's group use the restroom because the club was closing. It's crazy how fast things can go left in these types of environments, like just one small dispute. And that is because people are drinking, okay? I just feel like these types of environments, by the way, are so played out. I don't know what you think. Like, do you guys be going to the club and shit? I go on very rare occasions if we're like celebrating like a friend of mine or something like that. But honestly, club environments are just played out to me. It's too many people. Niggas be shooting and shit these days too. And it smells bad. It's chaotic. It's disgusting, I'll be honest with you. And also too, they're charging everything. Like me personally, I don't like to drink. So I'll get like a Coke Zero mixed with something, right? And then next thing you know, bam, $6. And I'm like, what? That's a lot of money. So I feel like that just clubs and all that shit, it's a scam. That's what I think. So in a situation like this, they're not going to ask Boosie like, hey, were you upset? They're going to ask him, the court in this situation, what did you do? Did you use force? Was the force reasonable? Was there a threat at the time when you used that force? Was the threat still operating or happening? Did you use an object? Was it really necessary? Especially if he was like bending over and he wasn't looking, that's when it's going to get really bad. Because according to Boosie's accounts, I mean, he was protecting someone that he was with. But then again, too, did this person that he said that he protected, did they do something? Because security guards don't usually just like attack people. That's the kind of part that's very confusing. You're saying that you protected someone, but protected them from what? This guy's a security guard and he's getting paid to be a security guard. He's going to be a security guard. He's not going to, most times they're not going to put hands on women, especially, right? I'll be honest with you. I have a feeling we'll see when the surveillance footage comes out. Part of me believes that this is probably one of those situations where the person that Boosie was trying to quote unquote protect, they were probably causing some kind of ruckus, okay? That's what I think. They're being belligerent or something like that. And then the guy's like, nope, you can't use the bathroom, man. No, we're closing. And then Boosie might come. This is just all fiction, right? And the Boosie comes out of nowhere. Nah, come on, dog. Come on, man. Come on, dog. And the Boosie's like, nah, bruh. Boom. And again, this is all fiction. This is just what I'm making up in my head, right? But I just don't see a security guard out of nowhere putting hands on a woman. I just don't see that. So that detail about the guard allegedly being hit while bending down makes the allegation sound even worse. And keep in mind, the security guard was basically saying that he was trying to pick up the woman's belongings when he was struck from behind. And then he looks back like, come on now, dog. Oh shit, it's Boosie. So if prosecutors can prove that, they're probably going to argue that the guard was not even in a position to defend himself at that point. So this is why I think the footage is going to be so important here. So as of right now, obviously, we only have pieces of the story. We have the allegations, we have the guard's version, and then we have a Boosie, okay? A frustrated Boosie saying, come on, dog, that's a money grab. And then we have his lawyer saying that there's more to the story. And then we have TMZ reporting that his lawyer said Boosie was trying to defend a female relative and de-escalate the situation. So we don't have the full picture yet. But like Picasso, I'm trying to paint a picture for you. I was about to say Mozart, bro. So obviously I'm not talking like Boosie has already been convicted. He has not been convicted, okay? But I also don't want to downplay the situation because it involves Boosie and Boosie allegedly holding a hookah basement. That's kind of crazy, man. I can't even lie. But obviously, let's take the jokes out of it. Like someone reportedly went to the hospital and needed medical treatment for a head injury. Head injuries are no joke. And I'm not speaking from experience. I just seen them play out. And by the way, if you ever get hit on your head or like you fall, anything like that, always get checked out. Like always do that. There's been so many situations where people have these head injuries and then they don't go to the hospital or whatever. And the next thing you know, they end up dropping dead or like something serious happens. And also if you go to get your shit checked out, right? Do it in a serious fashion, okay, please. Because there's even been situations where people get hit in the head and stuff like that. And then they go to the doctor and then the doctor is like, nah, you good. And the next thing you know, something happens. So please just take that seriously. I really want to put that out there. And obviously I'm not a doctor. I'm just putting that out. Now, if prosecutors can't connect this particular injury that this guy had to Boosie beyond a reasonable doubt, he could have a very serious issue. And this is kind of why I just don't like these club environments. I can't stress that enough. They're just so whack. I hate them. And also when you're out, so many people are in their ego. And you accidentally like bump somebody and then next thing you know, they just want to pull a gun or like a knife and be all like crazy and stuff. But yeah, I guess we're going to see what happens in this situation. I guess we're going to see what Boosie says. Is Boosie going to take this like a champ or is he going to blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the Anyway, what do you guys think about this story, man? Boosie might be cooked after this, man. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But y'all let me know in the comment section below and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I'm out.